Madagascar isn't just a spot on the map, it's a world unto itself, carved out by millions of years of isolation and shaped by stories that exist nowhere else on Earth. Cut off from the rest of the continent by vast, mysterious oceans, this island grew into a living laboratory where life reinvented itself far from the rest of the world's eyes. Every dawn feels like the opening of a portal to a place that sits somewhere between reality and myth, where nature makes up its own rules. In this isolated realm, creatures that look like they stepped out of another planet follow paths that defy everything we thought we knew about evolution. Nothing here is ordinary. Nothing is predictable. From lemurs that leap like acrobats to reptiles that change color as easily as moods, Madagascar is a living tapestry woven from impossible shapes, improbable colors, and stories that refuse simple explanations. With every step, the island whispers a secret it has kept for ages. To explore Madagascar is to step into the wild heart of nature, where survival became art and adaptation turned into spectacle. There's a quiet grandeur in everything that lives here, as if every creature carries the memory of an ancient, untouched, unshakable world inside it. That's exactly why anyone who sets foot on this island feels they're walking not just into a place, but into a legend. And to truly grasp the soul of this extraordinary island, we have to start with one of its most iconic residents, a primate that blends charisma, curious behavior, and an evolutionary story that perfectly captures the spirit of Madagascar. Our journey begins with the first guardian of this kingdom, the ring-tailed lemur. The ring-tailed lemur is the kind of animal that feels designed to be unforgettable. Its long, black and white striped tail sways like a living banner as it crosses Madagascar's sun-scorched ground. And that tail isn't just for show. It's a signature, a trademark that works as a flag, a tool, and a silent language among the troop. Pure communication wrapped in fur. These lemurs live in remarkable matriarchal societies. Here, the females call the shots. They decide where the group feeds, where it rests, and which path to take when danger lurks in the forest. This reversal of the usual primate power structure, something incredibly rare, creates a fascinating dynamic of cooperation and leadership built on experience and wisdom rather than brute strength. Unlike many of their tree-dwelling cousins, ring-tailed lemurs prefer the hot, rough ground. They spend much of the day strolling calmly across it, holding their magnificent tails high, like beacons, so no one gets left behind. In open terrain, that raised tail becomes a visual lifeline, keeping the troop together even when the landscape turns harsh and confusing. But when rivalry flares up, things get wonderfully weird. Males engage in the famous stink fights. They coat their tails with scent from special glands and then waft the odor toward their opponent with quick, dramatic flicks, a silent battle decided entirely by who smells the strongest. It's war without violence, just courage, swagger, and a whole lot of attitude. Their diet is as varied as their social drama. Fruits, leaves, flowers, tree sap, even the occasional cactus when times are tough. They adapt with astonishing cleverness, gnawing bark or making the most of whatever the island throws at them. That flexibility is why ring-tailed lemurs thrive in everything from dry forests to near-desert scrub. Grooming is more than hygiene in their world. It's the glue that holds the group together. Every gentle comb through with teeth and fingers strengthens trust and weaves an invisible safety net that keeps the troop strong. And their vocal repertoire is impressive. Purrs, shrieks, and strange little calls to warn of danger or simply stay in touch. In the cooler highlands, they have an almost human morning ritual, sunbathing. They sit with arms spread wide, bellies to the sky, soaking up warmth like they're charging for the day ahead. It's such a simple, poetic moment of pure adaptation. Breeding follows the seasons. Babies arrive at the start of the warm months and cling to their mothers for the first weeks of life. Even as tiny infants, they're already watching, learning the silent language that keeps the troop running. They grow fast and soon become full members of the matriarchal society. In every way, the ring-tailed lemur is a living emblem of Madagascar's resilience, a primate with unique traditions, extraordinary adaptations, and a presence that lights up every corner it claims. And just when you think you've seen it all, the island introduces another quiet giant of the forest, the legendary Indri, whose voice echoes for miles like the guardian of the tallest trees. Deep in the rain-drenched forests of eastern Madagascar lives a creature that doesn't just inhabit the trees, it commands the silence with its voice. The Indri, the largest of all lemurs, feels more like an ancient forest spirit than a mere primate. Its thick, black and white fur stands out sharply against the emerald canopy, and its deep, calm eyes seem to hold secrets humans will never quite grasp. What makes the Indri truly legendary are its leaps. With powerful hind legs, it can hurl itself up to 10 meters from branch to branch, gliding through the humid morning air like a silent acrobat. Every jump is precise, graceful, almost choreographed, nature's own high-wire act, visible only to those who know where to look. But no leap compares to the power of its song. The Indri's call is unforgettable, long, haunting, and resonant, carrying more than 3 kilometers through the forest. It marks territory, keeps families together, and turns the whole jungle into an echoing cathedral. Each family has its own unique musical signature, a sound that says exactly who they are. When a chorus rises at dawn, the forest itself seems to vibrate in harmony. Unlike most lemurs, the Indri has almost no tail at all. It balances its sturdy body high in the canopy with sheer strength and those mighty legs. Its diet is mostly leaves, flowers, and fruit, and it spends long, patient hours feeding. Every bite fuels the massive leaps and that incredible voice. In a world full of promiscuous primates, the Indri stands out for another reason: lifelong monogamy. A pair bonds for life, and that partnership becomes the heart of the family. Offspring, born only every 2 or 3 years, grow up wrapped in that unbreakable union, learning the songs, the routes, and the secrets of their territory from both parents. The Indri is active at dawn and late afternoon, the times when the forest feels most alive. Between feeding, leaping, and singing, there's grooming, gentle, stress-relieving sessions that reinforce the tight family bonds. In those quiet moments, you can almost see how deeply connected they are. The Indri is one of Madagascar's greatest symbols, majestic, mysterious, perfectly in tune with its world. Yet while the Indri reigns with voice and giant leaps, another island resident rules the jungle in a completely different way. Silent, deliberate, and camouflaged like a ghost among the branches. Next, we meet the master of stillness, the astonishing Parsons chameleon. Deep in Madagascar's humid rainforest, where sunlight barely reaches the forest floor and branches weave an endless maze, lives a creature that seems to bend the very laws of nature. The Parsons chameleon isn't just a reptile, it's a living shadow that moves as if time itself slows down around it. At up to 70 centimeters long, it's one of the largest chameleons on Earth, yet it can vanish right in front of you. Its camouflage is nothing short of witchcraft. Shades of green, turquoise, yellow, and even hints of blue shift across its skin like slow-moving brushstrokes, adjusting to the surroundings or its mood. For this gentle giant, color is language, shield, and identity all at once. It melts into leaves, bark, and dappled light so perfectly that only the most trained eye can spot it. Despite its imposing size, every movement is deliberate, almost ceremonial. It creeps forward one careful foot at a time, rocking gently to mimic a leaf in the breeze. But hidden beneath that calm is explosive power. Its tongue can shoot out faster than the eye can follow, extending farther than its own body to snatch insects with surgical precision. It's like watching a living slingshot fire in complete silence. Unlike the social lemurs, the Parsons chameleon is a loner by choice. It needs no company to thrive. It patrols its territory alone and only tolerates another of its kind during the brief mating season. A quiet, self-sufficient guardian of the understory, perfectly content in its own company. Everything about it screams patience and control. It watches. It waits. It strikes only when victory is certain. In this creature, raw power and delicate grace live side by side, invisibility and presence in perfect balance. And if the Parsons chameleon impresses with its quiet elegance, Madagascar has another color-shifting master waiting in wings, one that's loud, bold, and turns its body into a living fireworks display. Next stop, the dazzling panther chameleon. If the Parsons chameleon is the quiet monk of the forest, The panther chameleon is the rock star artist, an explosion of color that looks like nature got drunk on a paint palette and decided to go wild. Across Madagascar, you'll find males blazing in emerald greens, sapphire blues, fiery reds, and sunburst yellows, so intense they almost hurt to look at. And here's the kicker. Almost every region of the island has its own exclusive edition of panther chameleon, each with a unique color scheme, like limited edition sneakers dropped by evolution itself. But those colors aren't just for Instagram. Color is currency, weapon, and love letter all at once. When two males square off, their patterns ignite, stripes and spots flare brighter and more aggressive, screaming, "Back off, this turf is mine," without a single sound. Females flash different signals, dark and muted when they're pregnant or not in the mood, basically the reptilian version of "not tonight, buddy." Hunting is pure sniper work. The panther chameleon freezes statue still for minutes, sometimes hours, eyes swiveling independently like twin turrets. Then, in a fraction of a second, the tongue rockets out, up to twice the animal's body length, and the prey never knows what hit it. Blink, and you miss the whole show. Despite the fireworks, these lizards are still loners. Males would rather flex colors than fists. Actual fighting is rare, and usually avoided. They patrol their patch of jungle with calm confidence, making sure no rival wearing the same bold palette crosses the line. When it's time to breed, females dig a tunnel and lay 10 to 40 eggs, then bury them and walk away. Those eggs can take up to a full year to hatch, depending on temperature and rainfall. When the babies finally pop out, they're already miniature masters of disguise and hunting, ready to conquer the world from day one. Their favorite stage? Lush coastal rainforests and thick vegetation where sunlight filters through giant leaves in shards of gold and green. It's the perfect catwalk for both vanishing acts and full-on color parades. The panther chameleon is living proof that Madagascar never runs out of creativity. Aggressive beauty, silent strategy, and mind-blowing skill rolled into one walking, color-changing masterpiece. And if you think that's the peak of reptilian flair, wait until you meet the next jewel, tiny, lightning-fast, and glowing like a piece of the rainbow broke off and started running up tree trunks. Coming up, the dazzling day gecko. Among the sun-dappled trunks and glistening leaves of Madagascar's forests flits a creature so small, yet so dazzling, it looks like someone shattered a rainbow and gave the pieces legs. The day gecko is one of the island's most electric reptiles, a thumb-sized burst of neon green, sky blue, fiery red, and golden yellow that glows under the tropical sun. Unlike nearly every other gecko on Earth that hides from daylight, this little superstar evolved to shine when the rest of the world is wide awake. Its skin isn't just pretty, it's a billboard. Males crank the brightness and pattern intensity when defending territory or flirting. A flash of color is a shout, a sudden fade is a whisper. When tensions rise, that tiny body can light up like a warning flare. This branch is taken. During courtship, the colors go full disco. Nature basically hands a male a spotlight and says, "Show off." These geckos treat the world like one giant climbing wall. Tree trunks, broad leaves, even smooth glass on village houses are no obstacle. Microscopic hair-like structures on their toe pads let them stick to anything, defying gravity with casual arrogance. Watching one sprint straight up a vertical pane of glass feels like cheating physics. They hunt with quick, decisive snaps, flies, beetles, anything that fits in their mouth, but also sip nectar and tree sap, a sweet side hustle most lizards never bother to pick up. In doing so, they accidentally become tiny pollinators, dusting themselves with pollen as they drink and carrying it from flower to flower. A jewel that doubles as a gardener. Males can be territorial little hotheads, but you'll still find loose gatherings on sun-warmed branches in the morning, quietly basking together like old friends at a cafe. It's a silent ballet of quick head bobs, color pulses, and subtle tail flicks, their own private sign language. Breeding is low drama. Females glue just a couple of eggs into safe crevices, tree holes, under bark, even behind picture frames in villages. The babies hatch fully independent, already perfect miniature versions of the adults, ready to climb, hunt, and glow from their very first sunrise. Day geckos keep insect numbers in check and help flowers reproduce. They're small, but the forest would miss them in a heartbeat. and the fact that they thrive just as happily on a rainforest palm as on someone's porch proves once again that Madagascar's creatures are masters of rolling with whatever the world throws at them. As we leave this sparkling little speedster behind, our journey slows way down for a creature that carries an entire starry sky on its back and walks like time itself is in no hurry. Next up, the radiant tortoise of the sun-scorched south. In the harsh, sun-blasted south of Madagascar, where the earth cracks under the heat and only the toughest plants dare to grow, walks a living jewel. The radiated tortoise carries a night sky on its back. Each segment of its high-domed shell is etched with bright yellow stars that radiate outward like sunbeams frozen in time. When it moves, slow, deliberate, ancient, the shell catches the light and flashes like polished gold across the red dust. This is a creature built for endurance rather than speed. It grazes on tough grasses, prickly pear pads, and fallen fruit, storing water and nutrients with legendary efficiency in a land that often offers neither. Growth is measured in decades, not years. Some individuals live well over 100 years, quietly outlasting empires while they nibble their way across the same few kilometers of scrub. Solitary most of the time, they wander their arid kingdom like slow-moving suns. When the mating season finally arrives, males engage in gentle, sometimes not-so-gentle ramming contests, pushing and shoving until one claims the right to court a female. She then digs a deep nest in the warm sand and buries her clutch of eggs, trusting the relentless southern sun to incubate the next generation of star carriers. The hatchlings emerge already, wearing their perfect little star-patterned armor, tiny replicas of the giants they will one day become. But beauty has made them a target. Poaching for the illegal pet trade and traditional consumption has pushed the radiated tortoise to the brink. Every starback shell smuggled away is a piece of Madagascar's soul stolen. They are now one of the most critically endangered tortoises on Earth, a quiet, walking reminder that even the toughest survivors can be brought low by human greed. As we leave these luminous giants behind in the shimmering heat, night falls across the island, and a different guardian takes the stage. One that rules not with light, but with shadow, silence, and eyes that burn like twin moons. Next, we descend into darkness with the Madagascar owl. When the sun drops and the forest sinks into velvet darkness, Madagascar hands the kingdom over to one of its most mysterious hunters. The Madagascar owl, also known as the Madagascar long-eared owl or the red owl in some regions, materializes like a ghost with wings. It drifts between black trunks on soundless feathers, its huge amber eyes glowing like twin lanterns that see everything the night tries to hide. Its plumage is a masterpiece of camouflage, mottled rust, brown, and cream that turns the bird into just another patch of bark during the day. At night, those same feathers become a cloak of silence. Each one is fringed to break the rush of air so completely that even a mouse inches away hears nothing until it's too late. Hunting here is pure sorcery. The owl combines night vision sharp enough to read by starlight with ears so precise they can triangulate a rustle under leaves or the heartbeat of a hidden gecko. It can turn its head almost 270 degrees without moving a muscle in its body, an eerie, mechanical twist that lets it scan the darkness while remaining perfectly still. When it dives, the strike is lightning wrapped in cotton. The menu is whatever the night offers: rodents, tenrecs, frogs, large insects, small birds, even the occasional baby lemur, if the opportunity arises. That adaptability is crucial on an island where seasons can flip from feast to famine overnight. By day it melts into hollow trees, rock crevices, or dense tangles of vines. Motionless, it becomes part of the forest itself, invisible to both predators and curious prey. Only the faintest facial disc and those burning eyes betray its presence if you're lucky enough to stumble across it. Breeding is a once-a-year affair. 2 or 3 chalk-white eggs are laid in an old stick nest or a natural cavity. The chicks hatch blind and helpless, covered in pale down, and for weeks the parents hunt relentlessly under the moon to feed their demanding brood. The adults' low, haunting hoots echo through the darkness, marking territory and keeping the pair in contact across the black sea of leaves. Those same calls can freeze the blood of anyone walking the forest at night, deep, guttural, almost human. To the owl, they're simply love songs and border patrols. As a top nocturnal predator, the Madagascar owl keeps rodent and insect populations in check, preventing outbreaks that could strip seedlings and damage the fragile forest. It is the unseen caretaker of balance, the silent judge that decides who lives to see another dawn. Resilient, perfectly engineered, and utterly captivating, the Madagascar owl is one of the island's great night jewels. But as the first light creeps back into the canopy, another performer takes the stage, one that dances instead of flies, leaps instead of glides, and moves like the forest itself taught it to ballet. Next up, the incomparable sifaka. In the dry, deciduous forests and spiny deserts of Madagascar lives one of the most charismatic primates on Earth, the sifaka. It looks like a plush toy that learned parkour. With impossibly long legs, a tiny torso, and arms that seem built for dramatic flair, it launches itself through the treetops in 10-meter bounds that feel more like flight than jumping. Every leap is poetry. Body perfectly horizontal, limbs splayed like a ballerina mid-flight, landing with the softest touch on the thinnest branch. But the real show happens when a sifaka has to cross open ground. Unable to walk normally on all fours, its legs are just too long, it does the only logical thing. It dances. Arms raised high for balance, it hops sideways in a series of elegant, bouncing sidesteps that look like a mix of ballet and moonwalk. Tourists squeal, cameras click, and the sifaka couldn't care less. It's just trying to get from point A to point B without becoming lunch. Most species are draped in snowy white fur with dramatic chocolate brown or black patches. The cockerel sifaka looks like it's wearing a fancy tuxedo, while the golden-crowned sifaka glows like it's been dipped in sunlight. They eat almost exclusively leaves, flowers, and fruit, and in the process scatter seeds everywhere, making them essential gardeners of the forest. Like their ring-tailed cousins, sifak live in female-dominated groups of 5 to 10. Decisions about where to feed or sleep are settled by the ladies, usually with nothing more than a stare or a casual shove. Grooming sessions are long, relaxed, and full of quiet chatter, the lemur equivalent of a spa day. Their alarm calls are unforgettable, a loud, barking sure-fact that ricochets through the canopy like a fire alarm, instantly sending the whole group into synchronized leaping escape mode. Tragically, these dancing lemurs are running out of stage. Deforestation for charcoal, cattle grazing, and slash-and-burn agriculture is erasing their forest faster than they can adapt. Some species, like the silky sifaka, are now among the planet's most endangered primates. Fewer than 1,000 may remain. Every lost hectare is one less place for the dance to continue. Madagascar isn't just an island. It's a planet within a planet, a place where evolution got drunk on possibility and wrote a story no one else on Earth can tell. From the ring-tailed lemurs waving their striped flags across the burning sands to the sifak pirouetting through the treetops, from the silent ghosts of giant chameleons to the tiny day geckos that look like living drops of rainbow, every creature we've met is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece found nowhere else. This is a land where survival became art, where isolation forced life to improvise the most breathtaking solutions. Monogamous singing lemurs, tortoises wearing starlight, owls that fly on silent wings, lizards that paint themselves in neon fury. Madagascar didn't just adapt, it dreamed out loud for 88 million years and never woke up. But the dream is fragile. Slash and burn fields creep closer every season. Charcoal fires eat ancient forests. Poachers steal starback tortoises and lemurs by the thousands. Climate shifts make the dry seasons drier and the wet seasons wilder. The same isolation that created this wonderland now makes it terrifyingly vulnerable. Once a species disappears from Madagascar, it disappears forever. Yet there is still hope. Protected areas are expanding. Local communities are becoming guardians instead of hunters. Scientists, guides, and everyday people around the world are falling in love with this place and fighting for it. Every tourist who visits responsibly, every child who learns these stories, every voice that says this matters, adds weight to the side of survival. Madagascar is proof that our planet can still surprise us, still humble us, still make us believe in magic. It's a living reminder that the most extraordinary things often hide in the smallest, most overlooked corners, and that protecting them is not charity. It's preserving the wild heart of the world. So if this journey left you wide-eyed and a little heartbroken in the best possible way, carry that feeling with you. Share the stories. Support the parks and the people who protect them. Dream about one day standing beneath a baobab at sunset while a sifaka dances across the sky. Because as long as there are places like Madagascar, there are still reasons to believe the world is more incredible than we ever imagined. Thank you for walking this wild island with me. We'll meet in the documentary that's on the screen.